Chat, we did it. We did it. I honestly can't believe we did it, but we absolutely did it. Last night we hit our goal. Can we go for a little bit more? Chat saying yes, I think we can do it. Hello there, everyone. Welcome on into tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. My name is GirafaStev. I am the president of the Long Boy Club, the very long and large enjoyer of gaming, wrestling, $300 raised for Gamers Outreach, and my stinky cats. Tonight, we're fulfilling a promise that I made to all of you at the start of this. At the start of this, I said that any person who donated $15 or more to Gamers Outreach during Vtuber SummerSlam this year would be able to request their Mii of choice in Tomodachi life, and that I would prioritize it in its creation. Well, chat.
Hello, Mario.
Hello, Zach. Welcome on into tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. I'm celebrating my 4-year mod anniversary. Thank you very much for your 4 years of service, Zach. Genuinely, I really, really appreciate it. Much like how I appreciate everybody's insane generosity. Hello, Tom. Much like how I appreciate everybody's insane generosity all throughout this weekend. You all have absolutely floored me with the support that you've given to this charity marathon, the support that you've given to Gamers Outreach and their cause. But we're not quite done yet. We have Tomodachi Life to play here. And there's still time to get in a few donations if you either want to request your own Mii or get your name, not on the homunculus, but on the pro wrestling sign that I'll be taking to a show here later this year. And again, any donations that you put forth, they will all be going to Gamers Outreach, an incredible organization that helps children in pediatric care through play. But don't just take my word for it, chat. Instead, take my word for it. This year, I have the honor of taking part in Vtuber SummerSlam 2026. And to celebrate this match made in heaven, I'm at the beach. A bash at the beach, you could say. On the dates below my very squishable
Who's
face,
that normally
we're
proportioned
fundraising
giraffe?
for Gamers Outreach, an incredible foundation that works to bring joy to kids in pediatric care all across the world. They help make these kids' journeys less stressful by supplying them with accessible ways to play video games in the hospital. Right now, Gamers Outreach serves over 500 healthcare facilities across 15 countries. And this year, the Long Boy Club is going to do its part to widen that footprint. So eventually, it's just as long as me. Along with helping kids who could really use a hand, we're gonna get some new clothes for everyone's favorite Cheetos chompin' chud, the giraffe homunculus. All of these costumes are based on iconic wrestlers, and you'll be able to swap between them with channel points after the event. But only if we reach our donation goals for Gamers Outreach. Through the power of wrestling, video games, and wrestling video games, let's get in the ring and help out some kids. Chad, who the heck was that? Like, I went into that expecting me to tell you about Gamers Outreach and their mission, but instead it was like this really normal looking guy with a lucha mask, you know? Like, I don't know who that is. I mean, that had to have been GirafaStev there, or GirafaStev. One of the two. I'm not so sure. But either way, yeah, that right there is my villainous twin that also happens to be for the kids. The PG version of GirafaStev. But no, that is who we are raising. Sorry, that is who we are fundraising for the next few hours here, chat. There's still time to get in some donations in. We did reach our $300 goal, which means that the homunculus is going to be getting 4 new custom outfits. Those being Old Stone Cold Steve Austin, which is already done and will be ready for deployment once the event is over. In the works now, as well, is the Macho Man Randy Savage, Joe Hendry, clap, clap, and my stinky cats, Sting. Wait, why did I say my stinky cats? You know what? That should be a bonus fifth one. I just put him in a giant cat costume. The fabric chains will be off of me soon. I mean, like, listen, man, I think I just willed a fifth costume into existence. I need to, like, put you in, like, a costume that resembles Henry. But no, the fourth costume will be Sting in coat and face paint. And that is all because of your generous donations, chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know Gamers Outreach and the kids it helps also appreciates it. But again, there's still time to get in donations if you still want to. And for anyone who's not donated yet,
hey Stev, when will I get a John Cena outfit? Alright, bye Stev, I love you.
Wait, bye. No. You get that. Chad, he's gone. Chat, I'm sorry, he's gone. He's done with the fabric chains that bind him. Please, will you kindly break these chains that bind me? Like, he didn't want to wait. He's over there getting that Stone Cold outfit right now. Ladies and ladies and gentlemen, this is not part of tonight's entertainment. The giraffe homunculus, he has taken his cheese ball and he went home. He has. Oh wait, no, he's back. He's thinking I ate the cheese ball. Sorry, I came back to get another one. But no, chat. It only takes $1 for the lowest incentive on the list, which is.
I don't want to be in a cat suit. I want to be in a Cheeto suit.
A Cheeto cat suit. Chester Cheetah. Ah, all right. Now you're thinking, dude. You're a smart fella, but mostly a fart smeller. But no, if you've not donated yet, it only takes $1 to get your username or whatever name of your choice on a wrestling sign that I will then take to a show later on in the next year. For every $2, you could stretch me out. Obviously, the effect here stacks. I am a very disproportionately longer boy now. Every $5, I eat a spoonful of hot chili. It has 3 habaneros in it. It is homemade. It is delicious, but it is also very spicy on certain spoonfuls.
Hello, Mario.
Oh yeah, I have one of those as well. Neat. Yeah. I mean, Tom and Infinite, you guys have not only been stream regulars, but you've also helped the stream come along too. Infinite with your commercial comps, and Tom with you providing things that help enhance the universe
mode. I want
to
be in a Chris Jericho outfit.
Well, listen, man. Which one? There's like 6 of them. Every $15, you'll be able to add a character to Tomodachi Life of your choosing that I will prioritize. It could be a wrestler, it could be something from a TV show or game, whatever you want, I will add it. And for every $20, I will write a post on Blue Sky. You will have to either tell me in the comments, rather in the chat here, or you're going to have to tell me in the comments on Tiltify. Either way, I will post whatever you want me to post, as long as it's not hate speech. I got one more in. Oh, brother. Zach, you're the freaking man. Wow. But yeah, Tom, you've helped make the universe modes better, by your contributions as well. I'm not going to say what they are because I don't want WWE coming for me. But Tom, you've helped out a lot. You have provided me with the sauce quite a few times, and I really, really appreciate that. So, for both your contributions, you are now VIPs. What do you get for it? I had to figure that out first. But I just wanted to give you the status. All right? It's a status thing, But no, anyways, chat.
Better idea, give me a CM Punk outfit, father. I want to be the best Cheetos eater in the world.
Dude, homunculus, you gotta make up your mind, brother. What do you want? Do you want a Cheetos outfit? Do you want a Jericho outfit? Do you want a CM Punk outfit? Again, like, there are many CM Punk outfits. You gotta give me something here. You know? But no. Maybe in the future when we do another one of these. But yeah, for not $15 donated from Zach here to Gamers Outreach. That makes our total $325.43. Thank you very much, Zach. Aoi Ashihana from wait, Aoi Ashihana from Danganronpa. Okay, hold on. Wait, is this who I think it is? Is this who I think it? Dude, please. Yes! The best girl. The best girl from Danganronpa. Zach wants me to make this character, chat. Hold on. I've still only played the first Danganronpa, and that's because I don't think I'm good enough for the other two. I think I'm beneath them. But I have played the first one on stream ages ago, and this was my favorite character here. I've always liked athletic girls, chat, and Aoi Asahina. Or rather, Aoi Asahina is one of them. Aoi Asahina is one of them right here. And Zach wants me to make them in Tomodachi Life. I will try my best, brother. Because for our viewer requested Miis, we're just kind of gonna go down the line here, alright? I think it's only fair to like do it on a first come, first serve basis, you know? So we're going to start with a really tough one here, I feel like. We're going to do The Fiend first. And then after that, we are doing Nyla Rose. And then On and Shihaya for Persona 5. So on and so forth until we get through all of these requests. And I'm just going to be honest. They're not all going to be done tonight. Last night was a very long stream. And I would like a night where I'm not in front of a camera for like 8 hours.
I'll put all my costume ideas on this wheel and pick one. Little dun 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 dun. It landed on Chester Cheetah.
There you go. Okay, the 5th costume. The 5th bonus costume. In fact, here. You know what, chat? Here, I'm gonna go ahead. Let's raise the goal for tonight. Why not? Just for fun. Let's raise the goal here. While I do that, the second game has a punk music girl who acts like Pinkie Pie. Oh my god. Zach, say no more. I may not be good enough for the second or third Danganronpa games, but that doesn't excuse my lack of trying. I must try to become good enough for them. Otherwise, well, what am I even doing? You know? If I'm good enough for friggin' Asahina, I gotta be good enough for the Punky Pie. Punky Pie is what I'll call her. Stev, how long are you, boy? Well, let's see. I still need to extend myself from Zach's donation. So, I will do it. How about this long, chat? Give me just a second here. Yup. There you go. Next year, I'm gonna get my model mom to make like a naturally long one, just one that's like absurdly long, and like, and one I don't need to like stretch out VTube Studio in order to make work. But I don't know. This is funny. It's been very fun, like just making this like absurdly long. I'm not even on the screen anymore. My mouth is almost gone. You just see my like chudly chin just being squished like this. At this rate, Sev will be a neck VTuber. All neck, brother. All neck. All man. The world's sexiest man right over here. Much like the world's sexiest ad break. Here we go, chat. And now that I said that, we're gonna get that axe
It's
ad
break
with the
time.
chocolate man, aren't
Where
we?
are the Cheetos, my dudes?
Raw rolls on after this. Oh no! We're gonna get something even better.
It's sweeping the nation.
It's Fushigi!
Fushigi, like, I don't know what it is, but it's the coolest thing ever, and I can do it.
Hi, I'm Tim Goey, and this is Fushigi. We're gonna show you.
Where's
how to
Tim
unlock the
Goey
secrets
today,
of
chat?
Fushigi, the magic gravity ball. No strings, no tricks. Magic, maybe.
Balls
Illusion,
Fushigi.
You decide. You can make Fushigi defy gravity and appear to float in midair with maneuvers like the prayer cross, the enigma, levitation, and so many more. It floats, it levitates, it will confuse the senses with its mind-blowing movements. Young or old, big or small, anyone can Fushigi from the minute they pick up the
All right.
magic gravity
Hold on.
ball.
I gotta
With a little
get,
practice, you can conquer Fushigi.
This is so amazing.
I think it's fabulous.
I get it now.
Everyone loves Fushigi, and you don't have to be a magician. It's relaxing, even therapeutic. Best of all, it's just amazing.
It floats.
It's awesome. Fushigi.
From basic maneuvers to the advanced, even control more than one Fushigi at a time. You can do this. Mystify, amaze, and confuse your friends in just minutes. Now it's your turn to master Fushigi.
Fushigi!
It's sick. It's so much fun. I love it.
It's amazing!
I love it.
Me too!
My grandson, he's 16, he would love one of those. I want to buy it now.
Fushigi.
Call now to order
Fushigi.
Fushigi, the magic gravity ball, for only $19.99. And when you order, we'll send you a free DVD that will teach you everything you need to know to unlock the secrets of Fushigi. Just pay processing. Call now.
Why did he record with, like, a different mic there? There, I added a new milestone goal, chat. If we get to $400, I'll commission for a Chester Cheetah costume. Either that or I'll just put him in like a big old cheese puff costume. Oh my god, Zach.
Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Welcome back to Raw. Zach, this character, Ibuki Miyoda, is adorable. I love her so much already. Dude, she even has like the Pinkie Pie, like, color highlights here. She has like pink and blue. Although, like, you know, like her primary color is like a black sort of thing. But, you know, like, she friggin' has the highlights. So... At this rate, Stev will be a neck VTuber. Brother, for the next few hours, I am a neck VTuber. Just like how I am getting us started on Tomodachi Life. With our first of probably several Miis that we're creating tonight. The Fiend. Hold on. Well, let me pull him up. Fiend Bray Wyatt. Just a second here. All right. It's time, chat. On Clubber Island. I'm trying not to block the homunculus or the QR code, but my screen is a little bit busy.
Defender 42's stream streak is at 37.
She loves sweet screen music, LMAO. I love that for her. Also, thank you for the 37 stream streak, brother. Thank you.
We interrupt to bring you some breaking news.
Oh, do you now?
Here's what's happening on our island.
on Clubber Island.
Wishes perfect for the current season have been added to the wishing fountain.
What?
Going forward, new wishes may be available whenever a new season comes around.
Oh, we have seasonal wishes?
The wishing fountain to learn more. Thanks for watching. I'm Tomohiro Ishii, and you're up to date.
I was about to say, that's Tomohiro Ishii, you fuck. That's not heavy weapons, man. Oh boy. What is...
Woo? Booker Man?
Hi! It's been a minute since I've seen you. Here, Willow. What is up with Willow Nightingale? Wait, am I gonna be able to find out or no? Oh boy. Well, we need to give her a new, quirk chat. She does in fact great energetically. Stands smugly, stands proudly. Moving to a rhythm, I feel... shaking hips or moving to a... or stands to the rhythm, I think is probably the best for her, honestly. Stands with hands folded, stands with arms crossed. She walks with swagger. What? Walks by bounding. Bounds along like they're on the moon. You know, I'm thinking that... You know, when I think of Willow Nightingale, I think of standing, moving to a rhythm. Here are Willow.
Oh, I feel a little different.
What's up?
I can tell Tomohiro Ishii anything. Our talks are always pretty crazy. Deep, but crazy.
Is that so? Well, before I start my... before I start birthing some new friends for you guys, I am going to find Tomohiro Ishii, and you guys are gonna have a big old talk.
What an evening. Am I right, Tomohiro Ishii?
Good evening, Willow Nightingale.
Oh my god, they're chasing each other around! Look at this! Look at this, look at these goobers right here. I love them very much. Okay, well hopefully something comes of that. While I get the wishes and the money from the wishing fountain. You get the long... I'm collecting the long boy tax, chat. Can't grant wishes right now. Well... Well, listen. Doink, Orange, and Goldberg, and Bill Goldberg are just gonna have to, you know, wait it out. Because we have new islanders to make, chat. Starting with the man, the myth, the legend, the Fiend. This one is gonna be hard, chat. I'm not gonna lie to you. Infinite, you gave me a hard one to start with. But I think we can do it. Would you ever want to learn chess? Sure! Yeah, I wouldn't mind learning chess. That sounds cool. He has a little bit of a chin, doesn't he? I mean, it is Bray Wyatt, so... and he has, like, dreads as well. He has, like, white boy dreads. So, let's try and find some here. Ain't no way you don't have white boy dreads, dude. Which one of these is, like, the most accurate, chat? Because I feel like it's a toss-up between these, and maybe these. First off, let's kind of get them to the desired color. They're like, hold on. Well, let me see this. It's like mostly yellow, right? So let's go ahead and let's do this. But no, I wouldn't mind learning chess, sure. But it's like a dirty yellow, right? Yeah, the last one looks a bit more like Finn Balor demon hair. Yeah, you're right. Hold on. The highlight is really just not doing it many favors, is it? But what's frustrating about it, right, is that he has, like... hold on just a second. Can I give him the dreads up front? Or no? Because he has, like, brownish hair, like, on the bottom, right? Or can he only have dreads in the back? Where are the dreads? Dreads. No, that's a soccer mom cut. That is a soccer mom cut. We're not looking for that. Did you know there was a Dexter's Laboratory chess game for GBA? I did not know that. That sounds crazy. I know there was like an Etta and Eddie game for it. There are no dreads here. In order to get dreads, you need to like do just a full set of hair, I feel like. Okay, yeah. The hair... I knew the hair was going to be the hardest part. I mean, this just, like, looks like he has, like, snakes on his head, right? These are, like, reptiles on his face. And all the Dexters from Ego Trip are playable chess pieces. Oh, that's cool. I mean, like, I don't... listen, I didn't know that... I didn't know that was what the movie was. But that's fucking sick as hell. So I feel like that's probably the best we're gonna do for him look-wise. So from this point on, it's about the face paint. Which... Lord help me. God help me. Oh, here are a couple more things we didn't get to last time. Double tap to move or zoom in. Use the cogwheel at the top to adjust settings. Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, hold on. Hold on, actually. We're not quite done. We're not quite done with, you know, the lack of... We need to give him the big schnozola here. You're still showing more respect and reverence to Bray Wyatt's legacy than WWE did. I mean, like, listen, dude. Anything for the GOAT. He kind of had a pig snout, didn't he? I mean, the Fiend kind of had a pig snout, I feel like. No eyebrows. Yeah, we need like a blank canvas for this, I feel like. Alright, here we go. Let's do it. Alright, we need to give it all white face right here. Not really what I was going for, but okay. We can add the eyes after the paint. That's kind of what I was doing. I was either going to draw the eyes on, or, you know, just like, you know, put them on after the fact. I would kind of like for it to just cover the entire face and not the whole block here, you know? Alright, hold on. Alright, chat, it's time to make art. I need to go in, like, small strokes. This would bug the hell out of me without the precision of a mouse and stylus. It's bugging me right now. But, like, it wouldn't be any fun if I just, like, took the Switch out and made this by hand. Unless I, like, set a camera up and, like, did it that way. Which I could. But, like, I didn't think that far ahead for today, so this is what we're doing. Alright. Now we need to do the mouth. I removed the bit at the top. Oh, what? This bit here? That right there? Oh yeah, that looks better. But what I would probably do is add the little bit of brown here too, myself, right? We need to add, like, the brown patch up here, right? Yeah, this is bugging me without, like, the actual stylus. This is something that is tailor-made for something like a DS. Just get this part, brother.
Hello, Mario.
Fiend food. Hello there. Hello there, Colton. Welcome on into Jesus. Welcome on into tonight's Lawboy Club meeting. How are you doing, brother? Looks like poopy on his head.
Hello, Mario.
I see people post creations of this game on Reddit. You think they were modded. There are like, dude, there are lots of talented people that can do something with this game. I am not one of those people. I'm just trying my best here, you know? I'm just trying my best here. There's lots of, like, really talented and artistic people that play this game. It's pretty much a playground for that. There you go. Okay, next. Why does hair look like sandstone brick from Minecraft? Because that's the best I could do, brother, alright? And now we have to do his mouth, which is like a big, giant, black, gaping maw, right? I'm going to do the best I can here, chat. Okay? It's got to wrap around, right?
I love building with brown bricks in Minecraft.
Brown bricks. You could cheat with the teeth and just make them solid. I could. How about this? I'll do it if goddamn, if it's fine with it, okay?
I respect you, Waffleman.
I respect you, Waffle Man. Okay, we're getting somewhere, I feel like. I'm fine with whatever. You can draft a murderer. You can draft a murderer onto your Tomodachi life island, brother. But it also has, like... Let me see here. It has, like, fleshiness to it, too. So I feel like in order to, like, make this work, we gotta do something here. And I know just what that something is. We need to be precise here. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. Alright, let's make some teeth. Yeah, this is really ticking me off without, like, a stylus. God damn it, dude. I mean, like, listen, I feel like that we're kind of making something here, right? Dang it. Make the teeth yellow, huh? You know what, you're right. But no, I'm probably gonna cheat with the teeth a little bit. I think that's fine. It's like a child's crude drawing of the fiend teeth. Oh, wait, hold on. I feel like in order to really, like, sell this, we need to, like... First off, we need to, like, turn these... First off, we need to, like, start this with, like, a lighter color, I feel like. And then fill it in with the paint bucket tool. No, how are you, Colton? Welcome on into tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. I'm trying to make the fiend in Tomodachi life, because our good friend, the birthday boy, Infinite Tequila, requested him to be made, because he donated $15 to Gamers Outreach. Thank you very much for that, by the way. You are awesome for that. Alright, they need to be, like, rotten yellow here, chat. Kind of starting to remind me of a Slipknot mask. A Slipknot mask is incredible. Wow. Hold on. I'm not satisfied with that. I feel like the fangs need to be like one color. No, I think that's fine. Alright, now we're gonna cheat a little bit, chat. You've gotten all of them here. Actually, no. I don't think we can really cheat on this part. We just have to, like, give him, like, the black eyes here, you know? No, that's like Venom eyes. His eyes gotta look kind of like a bat symbol. A bat symbol's a good way to put it. They also kind of have like that pinkish stuff here too. Ah! Dude, who would have thought that being an artist is hard? I see the fleshiness. No. That's kind of what I was thinking of, like, you know, right until... I mean, that's what I started thinking of, you know, a while ago. There we go. And now we gotta give it the black kind of fill in here, right? No, that's not right. Oh man, I need to close that gap. Hold on. Otherwise, it's just gonna... Ugh, I don't want that. Let's see here. Chat. Is this fine? Because now I'm seeing like a little imperfection here that just is really pissing me off. It does look like it. Yeah, exactly. The right eye is a little bit big. But here, let's go ahead and fill this guy in first. There we go. I kind of wish you could copy over, you know, the fucking design here. So that way you can have symmetry easily. Now it's too small. Dang it. People are saying, who cares about symmetry? Well, I care. I care a lot about symmetry. They come up to me and say, who gives a shit about symmetry? Well, I do. I give too many shits about it, dude. Dude, it's a fleshy eye thing. It's a fleshy eye line. Just do it. There you go. It's fine. Leo Rush. He knows. I heard I heard he knows. Ah! Chat, being an artist is hard. It's very hard. You give a lot of shits about it. Yes, I do. Use the shape tool, maybe. You're right, the shape tool. Feels like cheating a little bit. Being an artist is hard. That's why AI will never replace us. I mean, what I'm doing right now has more artistic merit than anything that, like, AI can do. So, you know what? I'm not being too hard on myself. I'm just giving him lazy eye now. It's gonna be the whole stream. I'm just trying to draw the fiend's eyes.
Without symmetry, there would be no balance. With no balance, there is only chaos and disorder.
Exactly. Your spin, homunculus. Fuck it, that's what we're getting. That's it. That's it. That right there is it. God, he looks like a goober. Alright, now we gotta draw the eyes. Because giving him eyes would not be... Because giving him, like, you know, like, the freaking default eyes, that wouldn't be right, you know? And for this, I will cheat. We're gonna use the shape tool. Yellow default eyes would look funny. They would, yes. You know what? Let's go ahead and just do that. Well, yeah, Chad, if you ever thought that this would be hell on a controller, well, it's up there. I'll give you that. The yellow default eyes would be funny.
The government is using the reflecting pool as a testing genetic pool to breed their new mutant soldiers to replace the US Army.
Pretty sure that's the plot of the first Fallout game. Oh! Wait, hold on! Hold on! I forgot all about this thing. Yeah, we could just do this. Alright, hold on. Honestly, kind of cooked here, I feel like. Dude, honestly, I think we might have cooked a little bit here. Okay, but that just looks like a Slipknot mask, you're right. That right there just looks like a Slipknot mask. I didn't make the Fiend, I made Corey Taylor. Yeah, the big issue is the mouth, you know? I feel like we need to redo the mouth a little bit. Here, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna redo the mouth. We need to give it, like, the fleshiness and the black pit, you know? Here, hold on. Otherwise, it's just not gonna be right. Come on now. Put a regular mouth in the middle of it.
Excuse
right,
me,
we'll see how that
sir,
is.
there must be someone you've confused me for. If I could see someone who knew me or someone in uniform. I go to church on Sunday, truly, usually more screaming at the angels while they pushed him through the door.
Ah. Honestly. Ah. This is very... Dude, are you sure? I don't know about this dog. No, listen. Listen. I recognize we're, like, going really, really deep on this. But it's important that we do this, I feel like. It's important that we give him the right teeth. Otherwise, it's not the Fiend, you know? If you can make the teeth yellow, go for it. Listen, I want this to be good, alright? Plus, the teeth in here are black anyways. Probably not with that thick of a brush. We can do this. Underneath the nose is the teeth. With this, I'll give him the fangs. At the very least. Okay, yeah, fuck it. I'll try to make the teeth yellow. I can't make the teeth yellow. Shit. I can make the lips yellow, but that's not really what we're going for. Okay, how about this? I'm gonna go a bit easier on myself here. We're just gonna make 2 rows of teeth here. Alright? I'm gonna draw 2 rows of teeth here. Just like literally 2 lines, alright? One at the bottom, one at the top. And then we're gonna fill them in. Aw, dude. I feel like the imprecise nature of the sticks will help with the teeth. They don't have to be uniform or precise. That's true, yeah. Aw, dude. I think the idea of him having like really like jagged teeth is also like kind of a vibe too. So why not? We'll make it look imperfect. Especially this part right here. That's pretty friggin' sick. Aw, dude. He's not gonna eat anything with this. Looks more like he has, like, wrinkled cheesy puffs in his mouth. I hope the next Smash Bros. Lets you have this level of customization with Miis. I kind of hope so, too. That'd be neat. That's what we're going with, chat, okay? He just has the one big fucked up tooth there. Maybe one more here just to kind of round it out. Nope. In the back of the mouth be a darker pink. Sure. I'll try to do that. It is a bit too fleshy, yes. I think that's pretty okay, honestly. All that's left is to give him, like, pure white skin, so that way the face paint can be sold a bit more. Bam. I hope that's... I hope that works. He's pretty big. There we go. The Fiend. Can we give him an actual mouth so he can still talk? He'll be able to talk. He'll be able to talk. It's just that he's not gonna, you know, have a mouth that moves when he talks. He has an unknown age.
My name is the Fiend. It's nice to meet you.
My name is the Fiend. It's nice to meet you. Today is June 27th, 2026. So,
And
how
now
is
it's
this
time
place
for me
now?
to get
My
sick
name is
for
the Fiend.
charity.
It's
Ahem.
nice to meet you.
BRB
Today is June 27th, 2026.
Homunculus, respectfully, shut the fuck up.
My name is the Fiend. It's nice to meet you. My name is the Fiend. It's nice to meet you. My name is the Fiend. My name is the Fiend. It's nice to meet you.
Any way to get him to say "let me in"? Yeah. We can give him like that as one of his catchphrases.
Hello, Mario.
Varied in his energy, very quirky, very serious. There you go. Hello, I play games sometimes. How are you doing? Considerate, idealistic, and romantic. Often has their head in the clouds, but finds a lot of great ideas up there. I mean, that sounds like Bray Wyatt. I don't know about the Fiend, but that sounds like Bray Wyatt to a T. So, let's build a house for the Fiend. From now on, you'll be able to place houses anywhere you like on the island. Please choose a location for the Fiend's house. Oh wow, wow, I really can place them anywhere, huh? Look at this. Well, where does he live, chat? I think he needs to, like, live, like... I feel like he's gotta live, like... Where do you think he would live, chat? I mean, that was the... Maybe it's still Bray. I mean, like, it is still Bray under the mask. Just in the process of finishing the classic Sonic Festival across worlds. How long does that go on for? Because I want to play that after I'm done with this here tonight. Here, I'll place him right next to Chuck Taylor. I feel like he lives on Dauphine Island. Until tomorrow evening. Okay, great. Great. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we'll place, like, the Fiend on his own section here. Yep. Hi!
You're Bookerman, right. It's nice to meet you.
Oh no!
I'm a considerate daydreamer. I know I look like I have it all together, but I've been known to overthink things now and then. I hope we get along well.
Hopefully this is everything you imagined, Infinite. But now we need to connect him to the actual island. What the? Hey! Well, I'll bring someone, chat. Now the question is... who would help the Fiend? I think it's gotta be Chuck Taylor. Hey, Chucky. I know you're having problems, but the Fiend also has problems, so maybe you can go and help him. Doink. Aw, man, it would have been Doink. It seems Chuck Taylor is unsure of what to do.
Good evening.
I got it. Okay, well, I guess Chuck Taylor just has no clue what to do here. Well, I know who would have. Well, I know who would know what to do. Doink the. Get him!
Please help me. I've never seen a case this bad before.
What's he doing to him, dude?
I'm gonna be okay, though. Right. You're a real lifesaver. Don't worry about it.
Wow, what a bonding moment between two freaks. Alright, now we need to get them off this guy. I put the... Thanks for everything you've done to make this island wonderful so far. It seems like the Miis that live here are getting used to the island life. Did you know that they get up to stuff even when you're not watching? Wish you could make some kind of daily report on Clover? Well, perhaps the MMN news station is in order. Once you build one, you can get all kinds of fun reports about your Mii's daily lives. Okay, but like, dude, I need... Hold on. What? There we go. It's just by the Bayside.
We interrupt to bring you some breaking news. Here's what's happening on our island. The Clover MNN news station is now fully operational. The dulcet tones of island residents will deliver the island's hottest topics once a day. Stop by MNN Daily to make sure you don't miss a single story. Thanks for watching.
I want to know what Doink and the Fiend get up to every day, brother.
And you're up to date.
Thank you very much, Orange. Alright, now we need to get the Fiend off this island, brother. We need to get him, like, over here. Hold on. We need to get terrain here. See. Paths. Needs to be like a dirt path over to the sand. Are we gonna have, like, stairs here? The Fiend cannot get off of this island right now. Beach stairs. Yeah, I need stairs, dude. Anyone got any stairs? No way. Can I not, like, get stairs here? There's no way I can't make stairs. Chad, is there a way to make stairs? I feel like there should be, right? Or am I just, like, not seeing the right thing here? Might have to buy them. Until then, the Fiend will be stuck on his island. I'm sure he's fine with that. Okay. Now, where do we even buy stairs? Do we buy them here? Quick build.
Welcome.
What the? There you go. Dude, it costs 10 bucks for stairs. They took the stairs because you're grounded, dude. Absolutely. Wow. Alright, well. Now that we have stairs, so that the Fiend can interact with everybody else on the island. Let's go ahead and put him down here. Stairs, 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 stairs. There you are. Alright, there you go. Now the Fiend can get off his island. Great. We're gonna start having to hoard stairs like they were toilet paper. I guess so, brother. Because, man, I need more of them, I guess. How far out can I build? Can I, like, build past this point or no? Nope, I cannot build past that point yet. Alright. Well, listen, I feel like we're gonna unlock that soon enough. Patch, if you're in chat, it's time for yours now. It's time for Nyla Rose chat, but first we need to run an ad.
Hello, Mario.
Hi, Patch. We're about to make Nyla Rose, but first I need to run an ad. And get Nyla Rose's portrait
It's break
ready.
time. Where are the Cheetos, my dudes?
Yo, kids, here's a flaming hot Cheeto snack.
Transphobia.
Whoa, gee, there's no fire here. Just flaming hot Cheetos. Here, try one, if you can handle it. Flaming hot Cheetos, deliciously hot, dangerously cheesy.
To keep me from going cuckoo for the great chocolatey taste of Cocoa Puffs, I'm going to ride up and down this elevator all day.
11th floor, munchy.
Munchy?
12th floor, crunchy.
Crunchy!
13th floor.
Chocolatey? That's Cocoa Puffs! Yay! Cocoa Puffs!
This one should be much easier than the Fiend, at least.
Chocolatey tasting Cocoa Puffs, a part of this balanced breakfast with 10 important vitamins and minerals.
Being cuckoo sure has its ups and downs.
Always Toontown, brother.
You're ready for Toontown, an outrageous online game where battling evil cogs is only half the fun. Create your own toon, and you can do almost anything. With your parents' permission, get 3 days of free play at Toontown.com. Toontown, rated E for everyone.
Are you tuned enough?
You need to redo your room? For a limited time, if you find this certificate in marked boxes, you win $10,000 for a room makeover. Or write in. Many will enter. 2 kids will win grand prizes. 400 more will win their choice of one of these prizes.
Don't even think about it.
Gushers, redo your room sweepstakes. It's a...
All right, who drank it? Pinocchio? Wasn't me. Wasn't me. Burger King's gone green with frozen cherry limeade ices and amazing toys from Shrek 2, like Pirouette Princess Fiona, or the awesome electronic bug snack Shrek. 8 toys in all, 1 in every kid's meal. Cherry limeade sold separately. The 3 little pigs set me up. Only at Burger King.
Moon shoes, kid powered anti-gravity shoes, moon shoes, any size trampoline, moon shoes defy gravity. How high can you jump with moon shoes? New moon shoes, many size trampoline for your feet from Big Time Toys. Each set sold separately.
First they're sour. Then they're sweet.
It's okay.
Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone.
Om nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Longboy Club meeting. Is anyone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Not necessarily. I'm more of a Cinnamon Toast Crunch guy. You know? Much like how I'm a big Nyla Rose guy. Look, Nyla Rose, please, TK. I know you won't. But maybe but maybe one day you will, because you'll suddenly become based. Now then, we need to make Nyla Rose here. What is, like, her skin tone, chat? Hold on, let me see here. Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs! She has a bit of a brown complexion. I can also just make an alien if I want to. Which is honestly nuts. I think that's an appropriate Nyla skin color. She has longer hair. It's got some curls to it. It's kind of combed back. Honestly, that's probably the best one, frankly. She has like thin eyebrows too. So let me see here. Not those. No. What are these? Oh wow. Okay. Interesting, but not what I'm but not what I'm looking for. No, they like taper off at the end. Honestly, those. That's good. You ever watch Ethan Page's toy vlogs with Nyla? A couple of them, yeah. But I don't think Ethan does, like, those toy vlogs anymore, does he? And Nyla does have a bit of a larger nose. Yeah, rarely. Yeah, he, like, rarely makes them, though. And before he was, you know, in the Fed, he made, like, quite a few of them. So you know, that's a little disappointing. I was hoping that he'd do some with Danhausen again. Especially since they're both on the same roof now. That makes sense to me, you know? I mean, that shit makes sense to me. You know, now that we're not at the Fiend anymore, which is a lot more specialized, it's gonna feel really weird trying to create something like this where honestly, like, you know, Nyla Rose is pretty normal looking compared to the Fiend. So, but this isn't really like what I think of when I think of her, you know? No, she doesn't have the clown nose. She has something that's a bit more like this, I feel like. But no, like, very rarely does, you know, Ethan Page do stuff like that now. It's honestly a little upsetting. Their comic book characters normal looking compared to the Fiend. No, I know. Dude, absolutely. I mean, you look at Sonic the Hedgehog, he's pretty normal looking. He's pretty normal looking, all things considered. I mean, honestly, I'm looking at this. I don't really know what, like, more I could add to make her more Nyla Rose-esque. You know? I'm not sure what more I could add to her. Headband? Yeah, but that's a clothing option. I don't know if there's headbands, like, you know, just as part of, you know, the package here. You know, just as part of the creation package. Maybe it's the head. Hold on. No, that's way too... No, that's way too, like, sculpted there. That's way too, like, concave for, like, what we're looking at here. I think that's pretty good. Maybe the hair? Oh, let me see some other hair options here. She does have pretty big hair in this image. Hopefully his shop has like a headband, that way I could just kind of get that to her immediately. Oh, that's not big enough. Either that or I could give her this. This makes her look like a fitness mom. I'm not so sure about that, dude. Maybe if I make her larger, that'll help. Larger, bigger, you know, all of that stuff. Okay, well, now that I'm looking at this, it looks a bit more like Nyla. Is it the makeup? Maybe it's the eye choice. I don't know about that, dude. Hold on. That looks a bit more Nyla-esque. I think the eye makeup was the issue. I think it was too. This looks a bit more like her. Now, what is her eye color? Is it like a hazel? Hold on. Yeah, it's like a brownish sort of thing. I'm looking at like another photo of her. It's like a brownish eye color. There you go. There you go. That's a bit more Nyla-esque, I feel like. Also, it's the eyes still, dude. There you go. These are very kooky eyes here, I feel like. I'm just gonna reset these eyes here. We need a blank canvas. I'm trying not to give her, like, these insane looking eyes here, because, they're not really what I want out of this. You know what? Sure. We'll go with that. That's Nyla Rose to me, dude. Alright, Nyla. Rose.
My name is Nyla Rose. My name is Nyla. My name is Nyla.
Man, it actually, like, does it very well there. Alright. Now, what's her birthday? What is Nyla Rose's birthday? August 3rd. (1982). She's 83 years old. Doesn't look it, though.
My name is Nyla Rose. My name is...
My name is Nyla Rose. It's nice to meet you. Today is June 27th, 2026. My
name is Nyla Rose. It's nice to meet you. Today, my name is Nyla Rose. My name is Nyla Rose. My name is Nyla Rose. My name is Nyla Rose.
I think that's a pretty good voice for Nyla.
My name is Nyla Rose.
No.
My name is Nyla Rose. My name is Nyla Rose. It's nice to meet you. Today is June 22nd.
That sounds good to me, I feel like. Now then. I feel like she's very quirky for one thing. Pretty chill. Varied in her energy. Honest. I'll give her some slower movement, too. There you go. Outgoing. Radiant and always on form. Their effortless... Wait, hold on. Always on form. Their effortless style is admired by all. Easily adapts to new situations. I'd say that subs her up, sure. Let's build a house for Nyla Rose. Where should we put it? There it goes next to Chuck E. T. Chat. But we haven't checked in on here in a minute. The Fiend looks crazy, dude. We made a beast.
Hey there. It's nice to meet you, Booker Man.
Nice to meet you too, Nyla.
I'm an outgoing charmer. I have a knack for bonding with others, and I'm always ready for a good time with friends. I can't wait to start living here.
Thank you for your business card. I'll get back to you on the results of your interview here soon. Chat, we grew. The island has grown.
We interrupt to bring you some breaking news. Here's what's happening on our island.
Alright.
Developing the sea around Clover has progressed nicely, making it possible to expand the island. One excited resident is quoted as saying, "I hope we can keep growing the island until the whole world is the island."
Aww.
Adding residents will expand the surrounding sea, allowing our home to grow even more. Thanks for watching. I'm Tomohiro Ishii, and you're up to date.
I'm gonna shit bricks the moment that the Fiend is the news anchor. Wait, hold on. Daily news update. Oh!
And welcome to the evening edition of the news.
Battle for Nyla Rose's shoulder.
Nyla Rose has been working out lately and really getting into it. In fact, she was scheduled for leg day today. But shockingly, she simply decided to not do it.
Dude, immediately! As if on time.
Rose told reporters that her lazy
Nyla Rose having OC as the devil and Willow as the angel is very good.
We asked residents for their reactions.
Hey, is anybody watching?
I can't let anyone see me.
What? Where's Doink the Clown?
I'm the Fiend, and this has been the 8 o'clock news.
Dude, where is the Fiend? Dude, where the fuck is Doink the Clown reporting from? Have you been enjoying the Me News broadcast? Did you know that you can replay your favorites? You can queue up old favorites anytime at the news station, but as more stories break, the older ones will eventually be delisted. Be sure to lock any favorites that you want to keep forever. You can lock up to 49 stories at any given time. I feel like we need to lock that one, chat. That right there is the one. Hey! You stay up, alright? I have more friends coming. Alright, chat, we need to expand the island now. Yeah, that is a bit of a random number. Why only 49? It's not even like a whole number like 50. It's 49, specifically. We want to fit 50, but the Nintendo Switch just is incapable of that. Log fence. Athletics set. I mean, Nyla Rose was talking about Nyla Doink the Clown on location outside the Sandman's house in Sandy, Utah. Dude, he was back there smoking crack with the Sandman. It's very on brand for the Sandman. I'll bring someone. I know just who to bring. The master of helping people get up off the floor. Doink the Clown. Alright, chat. Ready to... Okay. So, apparently while we were gone, the romance between Chuck Taylor and Doink the Clown has not died. Chuck Taylor is ready to risk it all for Doink the Clown.
Please help me.
Chuck E. T's gonna be joining Doink in the back of Sandman's house soon enough.
You're so kind.
Aw. Hey Goldberg, what's up?
Hear ye, hear ye. Spin a coin, win a prize. Come on down and play coin spin.
Dude, if the prize isn't you eating corn the long way, I'm not interested. Guess which side the coin will land on when it stops spinning. If your guess is correct, you win.
It'll be heads or tails.
Heads or tails, make a call. Epic fails.
Tails? Huh? Well, let's see if you're right.
Is that Chuck Taylor on a George Washington quarter?
It's heads.
Founding Father Chuck E. T. I mean, like, no. That right there is revisionist history. Every single one of us know that Orange Cassidy founded this island with his own 2 fingers, okay?
You can get this as a consolation prize.
Did you find out if Chucky had a blue sky? I didn't check. That's some Harvey Dent-sized, novelty-sized coin. I know! If only, like, one side was, like, burnt. What's up, OC? You wanna play a game too, bro?
Care for a round of Zoom quiz?
Sure thing, bro. Let's see what weird stuff you zoomed in for me today.
First zoomed in item. What do you think it is?
Chat, what is that? That's a croissant. Croissant?
Croissant. Next, your second zoomed in item. What do you think it is?
What?
The answer is...
Dude, I know a pocket watch from a mile away.
Watch. And finally, the last zoomed in item. What do you think it is?
Oh, cool. That's
KWSO.
Fruity granola. Wait, no, that's an alpaca. That's an alpaca. Aw, man, that's a llama, brother. I love how one of them was Cheetos Cheesecake Blue Edition.
But you can get this as a consolation prize.
Croissant. Croissant. Dude, I got more toilet paper. I mean, we all know who has a shitty asshole, and that is Doink the Clown. I feel like out of everyone here, the Fiend also needs to have a shitty asshole.
Something on your mind?
Absolutely, dude. I think that you are due for this. You gave him some toilet paper. Ah, really? He's unsure if this is a good match for him. Dude. I'm sorry. Fiend, what are you trying to say? I'm unsure toilet paper's a good match for me. You do have a shitty butt, huh? Are these falcons carrying, like, CDs? Alright, well, that was weird. Okay, fine.
something you need.
Yes, I need to revise you a little bit.
My name is the P. My name is the P.
I need to revise you a little bit, dude. You do not have the proper voice.
It's nice to meet you.
That's good.
If someone asks what's most precious to you in the world, would you have an easy answer?
Exactly. Yes. My most precious thing in the world is getting these two guys together here. It looks like some Miis are planning a gathering here. Mercy the Buzzard pals were carrying the vinyl for Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit. Dude, Mercy the Buzzard is an incredible poll. Wow. Dude, uh-oh. Nyla Rose is staring at Will Nightingale. Oh boy, we got lesbian crush going on here. Doink, what's up?
Haven't seen you in a little while. I get the feeling that Will Nightingale has a crush on me.
You sure about that?
Are you saying it's on my head?
Dude, does everyone like have a crush on Doink the Clown here? Like, what is happening? They're arguing about you, Booker man. About me.
So I said,
Hey, what are you saying about me, brother?
you'll never grow if you don't get out of your comfort zone every so often. Well, anyway, here's the Clayton. Pull into me. So first, live up tuna with Jack Zombo. Barn Slam.
They're sharing dark secrets that nobody else can ever... No one will ever know. Alright, we have to make room for more Islanders, chat. Hold on. We have to make room for even more of your created custom characters. So, here's what's gonna happen, okay? Big old grass path. We'll build this out a little bit more later, but right now we just need it to exist. You know? We'll, like, build this out a little bit later on, but right now we just need this chunk to exist. You know? So that way we can put more of your guys' Miis in here. Alright. Now. Can I continue, like, building Miis into perpetuity now? It's looking like I can. It's looking like I can. Cool. Well, you know what? I got another one in mind here, then. Fucking Mercy the Buzzard is incredible. I can add 62 more Miis onto this island. That should be more than enough. Wait, hold on. I got logged out of the goddamn Tiltify thing. Give me a second here, chat. Hold on. I believe On is next up. Which was one of Zach's requests. Yes, in fact. We have On for Persona 5, her casual outfit. You got it. On Persona 5. on Takamaki in her casual outfit. So this should be pretty easy. Is that casual strikers or casual P5R? I would assume P5R. P5R. Okay, got it. And then after this is another Zach request, which should come as no surprise to anybody. One that will come as no surprise to anybody, but nonetheless. Also, if you like P5, you should play Strikers. It's incredible. Eventually, I will. I'll get to it eventually.
Lady ANN, Spear Coochie.
It flagged Coochie. Good. It flagged Coochie, but it didn't, like, adequately censor it. Alright, hold on. This one should be pretty easy, I feel like. Where are the pigtails? Pigtails, pigtails. They're like wavy ones too, which makes it a little hard. Mona Momo. Oh god, the homunculus has been possessed by Morgana. Spare Coochie lady on. Hold on. Let's go ahead and, like, actually kind of try and do something here. She does have the hairpin up front, so... Alright, where are the pigtails? Are there any pigtails here? No. Spare change. Spare Coochie, ma'am. Wait, can homunculus not say Ann's name? You could say Ann. Which is spelled like Ann. But he says it like, you know, but he says it like the American Ann. Yeah, he says it like the American Ann, not like, you know, on. I feel like I'm gonna need to kind of just go with one of these right here. I'm sorry, Zach, I'm not good enough for something better than that.
Hello, Mario.
Hi, Idea Maker, how are you? Far left looks most accurate. It does, yes. We'll go with that. I feel like that she has, like, a whiter blonde going on. We'll go with that. Homunculus has become Morganculus. That's a freaking fact, brother. You know what? I feel like I would like it better if, you know, if the eyes were a bit more accurate to what we were going for. So hold on just a second. And they need to be like baby blue. Like that right there. Only thing is that the pupils are just not really where we need them to be. There's really not much I could do on that front. No. I feel like that looks okay. Her lipstick is a bit more pinkish, so I'm gonna go ahead and change it to that. I get some pink. Looks fine. What about her eyebrows? They're barely discernible. They need to be, like, thin. Listen, chat. What if I create, like, a Morgana item and I gave it to her? Because one of the things about this game is that you can create your own items. I feel like that looks about as honest as I'm gonna be able to get. You know? Maybe find, like, you know, like an eye that has less eyeliner on it. Because she doesn't really have that much eyeliner. Congrats once again on the donation, too. Absolutely, man. Thank you. I mean, like, it was you fucking guys that got us there, so... So really, I should be thanking you. Thank you so much. Give her the Squidward nose. Honestly, the default one is probably the best that we've got for her. Because it needs to be something rounded, right? I mean, that looks pretty good to me, chat. Maybe, like, a taller head would be good. Something like that, I think, is probably the best that we got. On with Squidward nose horrifies me. Dude, it scares me too. Wow. No. She's like skinny like a twig, honestly. I don't know if I like what I did here, chat. I just made a white girl. I just made a white girl, okay? On Takamaki. On Takamaki is what... is what it is. There we are.
My name is Takamaki. My name is Takamaki. My name is On.
There you go. On. Let's see what it does when I spit this at it. Ah, wait!
My name is on Takamaki.
Honestly, I think that's probably about as good as it gets, dude. On Takamaki. There you go. Do we have, like... Is there a canonical birthday for On? Date of birth. October 2nd. No, it's in November 12th, I should say. 1999. At this point, she is 26 years old.
My name is on Takamaki. It's nice to meet you. Today is June 20.
My name is on Taka. My name is on. My name is on Taka. My name is on Takamaki. My name is on Takamaki. It's nice to meet you.
My name is on Taka.
My name is on Taka. My name is on Takamaki. It's nice. My name is
My name is on Takamaki. My name is on Takamaki. It's nice to...
Speed it up.
My name is on Takamaki. My name is on Takamaki. It's nice to meet you.
I think that's how the characters say her last name as well. I do enjoy that you can, like, change the pronunciation of characters in this.
My name is on Takamaki. It's nice to meet you.
No, chat, I just made, like, a white girl here, you know? Ah! White! Favorite Persona 5 well, that won't do. You gotta go back, brother. You gotta go back and make something a bit more, you know, not that. Go back and make, like, a little green alien or something. My favorite Persona 5 girl would be Futaba. Futaba gives off a lot of little sister energy that I really enjoy. I feel like that her energy is pretty flat, all things considered. Pretty honest. Can she be a little uptight? Maybe. There you go. Ambitious. Diligent, productive, and highly efficient, equally as skilled at planning and executing plans. Futaba's more transcode than most trans girls I know, which is why she's the GOAT. It's very true. She is very transcoded, yes. Did I do well, chat? Hopefully I did. Anna's not afraid to speak her mind. Well, I'll go back and change that about her then. I'll give her the Morgana item.
Hey, you must be Booker Man.
That I am.
Nice to meet you. My name is on Takamaki. I'm an ambitious achiever. I focus on a goal and don't stop until I hit it. As long as I stay focused, I can do anything. Thanks in advance for looking after me here.
Looking after you? Here, I'll go ahead and I'll, Hold on, give me a second. I'll give her a little bit of a different kind of, personality here. There we go. Tweaked it just a little bit. Alright, cool. That's about as good as I can make her sound, I feel like. Yeah, this is kind of a flat little stretch here, but again, the point isn't for it to look good, the point is that it exists right now. We can make it look good later on. Oh my god, that water looks crazy. You know, chat, I've been watching Scott the Waz's series of videos on the Wii U recently, and we said that Miiverse shut down. It got me a little bit wistful, you know? Not necessarily for the Wii U, because the Wii U was a dismal time, but more so for Miiverse itself. And specifically, the guy that would rate water for every Wii U game that came out. Like, for any game that had, like, discernible water in it, this guy would take a photo.
Scoot the woos.
This guy would take a photo of the water in the game and post a review of the water on Miiverse. Have you seen anyone do that for the PS4? I don't think so. Which means that the Wii U was better than the PS4. That's what some people will tell you anyways. Some people being 4 people. But more than 4 people will tell you that the Wii U generation was actually, like, a great time. It was fucking not. I will have people I respect, deadass tell me that they think the Wii U is better than the Switch. And it's just like, listen, I get that the Switch has problems, right? But you know what it also had? Games. It had lots of games. Nintendo said it themselves. They said the Nintendo Switch has games, and they weren't Whistle Dixie, alright? It had a lot of games. Not all great games, and they definitely kind of lost the plot at some point down the line. But it did have games. But you know what it also didn't have? Chihaya from Persona 5, because Persona 5 wasn't on the console. Chihaya Persona 5. What's his character's name? Chihaya Mifune. Got it. It's been a while since I played P5, so... Now she has the triangular chin, chat. She's got that triangular chin crazy style. People I respect will tell me the Wii U was a good time. Steph respects me. I do, Patch, but that take is garbage. I will not have anyone sit there and tell me that they would rather play the Wii U over the Switch. Okay? It is scientifically worse than the Switch. I love you, Patch. But listen, I don't love you enough to sit here and smile and nod and say, yup, the Wii U is better than the Switch. I don't have that in me. I'm sorry. At least the Wii U controls worked. What do you mean? Are you talking about, like, Joy-Con drift? Smile and wave. Just smile and nod and say, yup, I want to play 20 hours of Nintendo Land with you. I mean, to be fair, I've not played a single hour of Nintendo Land, even though I own it. Maybe I should change that. Hey, Zach, next time you're over, we need to do, like, a multiplayer session of Nintendo Land. Anyways. Kind of late on this, but either Futaba. I just really like the Wii U gamepad. It's like the Switch in handheld, but way more ergonomic. That I can agree on. The Wii U in handheld mode is like a torture device for me. It's just not something I want to do. But listen, the Joy-Con drift is definitely an issue, but I've never had a problem with the Switch Pro controller. What I have had a problem with is the Joy-Cons and the DualSenses, right? Never in my life have I had to buy more controllers than I've had to buy for the PS5 and the Switch when it comes to Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons are scientifically designed to like break within 3 months of buying. They're actually embarrassing. And the DualSense is similar. I don't think I've had a single DualSense that's lasted me more than 2 years before breaking. Or like getting like stick drift or something. And I've like... I take a good care of my DualSenses, right? Like I don't like throw them on the ground. I like leave them on like flat surfaces where they're not going to get knocked down. Like I take good care of them, you know? But there's just so much bullshit in those controllers that if one thing breaks, the entire thing just doesn't know what to do with itself. You know? Also, half the Switch's library was Wii U games. Enhanced Wii U games. Also, I wouldn't say it's like half. It was probably like a quarter. I mean, like, to be fair, if you were Nintendo and, like, all these games came out on a console that was, like, the Black Plague, would you just, like, leave them to rot on that system? Kasumi really grew on me during my second playthrough when I did the Royal Route. I really enjoyed Kasumi a lot, yes. Plus, you know, like, a lot of it was Wii U games, but in addition to those games, basically better versions of those games, too. And all new games. Like, Mario Odyssey absolutely kicks the shit out of something like 3D World, you know? I try to play 3D World, you know, by myself and with friends, and I had my fill of it within a few hours. I'm just not really in there for it, you know? For some reason, when I think of, like, ports to the Switch, I also think of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which I've never played, but it sticks in my mind because it was, like, one of, like, the only, like, sort of, like, big, non-old reliable releases on the Switch, or, you know, like, on the Wii U, so... Alright, hold on. Anyways... Let's make this character, chat. I should probably get a picture of Chihaya. Chihaya. This one should be easier to make, too. Unfortunately, getting it... Dude, this is the second character we've had on this island that has a headband. They can't keep doing this. Especially when I can't find headbands on this island. Alright, we got the head shape. I'm gonna give her, like... that skin, right there. She also has, like... very long hair, too. I say use our heads and band together to solve this problem. You know what? That's some real thinking right there. You're a real stinker there, Patch. Wait, this was a bad photo to use of her. This was a bad picture to use of her. Well, she has very long hair. So, you know, there's that. And it's straight hair. So I feel like we don't need to be going down in, like, you know, in there all too much. It's kind of hard to see where her hairline is, because her hairline is covered by the headband. But if I were Chihaya, and I know I'm not, Chihaya lost her headband while moving and has to find it again. So what you're saying is we could take creative liberties with this character. I got you, brother. She kind of has like her hairline goes like down the middle of her head, right? So we'll do that for now. Again, chat, I just feel like we're making, you know, another white girl here. big old white girl hours over here in the Lawn Boy Club. She does have kind of like wavy hair, right? Very wavy hair, actually. Set you a picture of how long her hair is. Okay, hold on. I don't think I can make it... I don't think I can make it that long. But I could definitely try and do... But I could definitely try and, you know, make it a little bit, you know, bangier. Okay, well, I'm looking at her hairline. It's a little too long. It's something like this, I feel like. It's got, like, waves up there, too. It's got, like, some waviness there, too. Something like this. Right? Do you want her to have, like, messy hair? It's got, like, curls and stuff, dude. Okay, well, hold on. I feel like this would be easier if she wasn't a brunette. So let's make her not that. There she is. That's our yellowed hair wonder. There's some detail on that hair, lol. She also... an apparent... Oh, sorry, chat. You're talking about VAs, and I'm over here trying to make Chihaya. Oops. Wait. Well, we kind of found a headband. It's not quite the same, but we found it. Ugh, the bowl cut, dude.
It's almost time for a 3-minute Cheetos break, my
Is it
dudes.
really? I'm trying to find some hair here, brother. I'm trying to find some goddamn hair here. That is insane. Something like this, maybe? It's like she's blonde, but not in the same way that Anna's blonde. No, like Anna's blonde. Chihiya's just straight up yellow, alright? She's like straight up yellow, I feel like. Like she's not even this shade of blonde. She's just yellow. Actually, no. She might be kind of closer to this. Actually, no. That right there's her color. That's her color, chat. Yes. Yes. Okay. Cool. Well, we found Chihiya's color. Now then, just for the sake of this not messing me up anymore, I need to make her eyes purple. Princess Daisy likes purple. How's she shaping? How do you think she's shaping up, Zach? I'm not a fan of how, like, the you know, the hair hides the eyelashes. But whatever. We're gonna go with that, dude. What are, like, some psychic eyes here for her? I like it better now. Good. That's the goal, brother. He has, like, squarish eyes, dude. I wish you could add, like, eyeliner or, like, you know, eyelashes to some of these eyes. These are, like, ginormous eyes for, like, what we're doing here, dude. Sun like that looks good, I feel like. The goddamn, oh boy. The tiny mouth is killing me, dude. The tiny mouth is killing me. I don't know if I can handle that, dude. See here. I like it better now. All right. She needs a smaller head. There you go. That looks a bit more like what we're trying to do here. All right, Zach, what do you think of this? Okay, one more thing needs to be done. The eyebrows. Sun like that seems pretty
It's
appropriate.
almost time for a 3-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Sun like that seems pretty appropriate. See her concept art picture so you get a better look at her full body. Alright, hold on. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Again, there's only so long I can make this hair, unfortunately. Because I'm trying to make it kind of like... Oh, okay, hold on. The waviness in the back, I feel like really helps bring it together. I'm gonna give her ears, because without the ears, this looks really strange to me. Even though they're covered by her hair. Like, her whole head needs to... like, the hair needs to cover her whole entire head. You know?
Hello, Mario.
Yo, Persona mention? Absolutely, Woobs. Welcome on in. We're trying to make Chihaya. It's hard. It's very hard. But honestly, I'm having a fun time doing it. I made her look like a Karen. I gave her a carrot cut, chat. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, like... I didn't mean to ruin her in this way. This feels like the closest we're getting, chat. This hair right here. Persona's one of the top 4 things we talk about on this channel. Right next to, wrestling, Sonic, and my stinky cats, yes. After wrestling, Sonic, and my stinky cats, those are the 4 pillars. Yes, absolutely. So Zach, you're gonna need to help me out here, okay? She's very petite, so... But she's also, like, tallish, too. Like, dude, the Miis in this are so stubby. Zach, you're gonna need to help me out here with the, Also tragic, doesn't look like she has a known birthday, though. She seems to be in her early 20s. So, like, at this point, she would probably be in, like, her early 30s, yeah? So I'll just make her 32, and we'll roll with it. Alright? Chihaya Mifune. Chihaya Mifune. Whoops, if you want to request of me, donate $15 to Gamers Outreach. Although I know that we were kind of on a donating spree yesterday, so if you ain't got none left, that's fine. I'm sorry, how did you say that?
My name is Chihaya Mifune.
No, it's not. Chihaya.
My name is Chihaya. My name is Chihaya.
Hello, Mario.
Chihaya. How about this? Hi. Hi. Hi, Winter Warburton.
My name is Chihiku. My name is Chihaya. My name is Chihaya.
Chihaya. We're gonna try and, like, just make this work.
My name is Chihaya Mifune. My name is Chihaya Mifune.
Mifune. Dude, she butchered that so
It's
bad.
almost time for a 3-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
No, it's not. I need to name it first.
My name is Chihaya Mifune. 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 My name is Chihaya Mifune.
It's so shit, dude.
My name is Chihaya Mifune.
Maybe dash is to set spaces for the last name, make it a little snappier. That's a good idea. Hold on. Chihaya Mifune.
My name is Chihaya Mifune.
That's the best we could do, chat. I'm laughing so hard over you. Dude, is this just what she's cursed to do? Can she not say her name like a normal person?
My name is Chihaya Mifune.
How about I just write it like nay like this?
My name is Chihaya Mifune.
Can you change nay to nay? I just did. It didn't do anything. I feel like this is just what we're gonna have to do, chat.
My name is Chihaya Mifune.
I feel like this is just what we're gonna have to do. Well, here, I'll make her into everybody. I'll make her 32 years old.
My name is Chihaya Mifune. It's nice to meet you. Today is June 27th, 2026. So, how does this voice sound? My name is Chihaya Mifune.
Okay, hold the phone. Hold the phone, Chihaya. I need to, like, remember what you sound like. Give me a second here. Chat, I'm gonna need to pull it up here. I'm gonna need to pull up some, Chihaya cutscenes or something. Chihaya Mifune voice. Just Chihaya Mifune. That is not a voice acted cutscene. I need... Wait. Where are her voice lines here? Hold on. I found a video that's called Chihaya Mifune is waifu material. Is that what you just sent me, Zach? No. No, you just sent me, like,
Hello,
quotes.
greetings. Hello, good morning, good evening. It's so hot. Oh, it's so cold. It's raining. I wonder if it's going to rain.
It's so cold. It's raining. well, I feel like that she just realized why it's cold.
It's getting colder out. So humid. So windy.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna try and do something with that.
It's crazy again this year. I guess this is it for today. I'm going to shrivel up.
Going to shrivel up.
My name is Chihaya Mifune. My name is
Chihaya Mifune. My name is Chihaya
Prevention is key.
Mifune. It's nice to meet you. My name is Chihaya Mifune. My name is Chihaya. My name is Chihaya. My name is Chihaya Mifune. It's nice.
Yes.
My name is Chihaya Mifune.
It's almost time for a 3-minute
nice to meet
Cheetos break, my dudes.
Chat, I'm gonna need to put this on hold.
26. So,
We gotta go to an ad break. I'm sorry.
My name is Chihaya Mifune.
It's
Yeah, I'm
break
gonna
time.
scientifically
Where are the
figure this
Cheetos, my
out.
dudes?
Today is
Oh no! You just had your nails perfect.
Oh no!
But without warning, your nails are ruined. Beautiful nails make you look good and feel good. But there's no way to protect that smooth, glass-like finish if it hasn't had time to dry. Until now. Nails in Motion now introduces Tip Tops. Designed by women for women to guard your nails from smearing and smudging. Simply place a Tip Tops nail protector under each finger before you treat your nails. Snap it closed and then turn it after your nails are done. Tip Tops protects your nails until they have dried and hardened and takes the worry out of using your hands before your polish dries. So go ahead, get your money from your purse, put on your coat, answer your phone, fasten that seatbelt. There's nothing you can't do while Tip Top shields and protects your beautiful manicure.
It's very easy for me to check my email, my text messages.
I'm trying to, like, picture the voice in my mind's eye, chat. Also, hi, Winter Warburn. I'm sorry if I did say hello to you. Fun. Fun.
So now I'm not going to be late to pick up my daughter for soccer practice.
You'll get 8 finger-sized Tip Tops, plus 2 specifically designed to protect your thumbnails, all for a special introductory price of just $19.99. But wait! If you call right now, you'll also receive a pair of stylish and comfortable Pretty Petty sandals. Just pay separate shipping and handling. Pretty Petty sandals have soft separators to keep your toes apart while your polish is drying. That's a $30 value, but it's yours free just for ordering today. And as an added bonus, we'll even send you the handy Nails in Motion carry-all, perfect for carrying your tip tops and your pretty petty sandals. A $10 value, absolutely free. You get 8 tip tops for your fingers, plus 2 for your thumbs, plus the pretty petty sandals and the handy carry-all. That's a $60 value, but it's yours for just $19.99. This amazing offer is not available in stores, so call now.
No. No.
That's too bad.
Om nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Hey, welcome back to Raw. I'm trying to scientifically engineer this shit, chat.
Meet you.
Please
Today
stop.
is June 20.
Shall we go together? Let's go home. Well then, let's go. Goodbye. Until next time. What do you think?
I think that finding your voice is going to be hard.
It's nice to meet you.
It's not this, I can tell you that.
My name is Chi. My name is Chiha. My name is Chi. My name is Chi. My name is Chiha. My name is Chihaya. My name is Chihaya Mifune. My name is Chi. My name is Chihaya Mifune. My name is Chi. My name is Chi. My name is Chihaya Mi. My name is Chi. My name is Chihaya Mifune. It's nice. My name is Chi. My name is Chihaya Mifune. 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 It's nice to meet you. Today is June 27th. My name is Chihaya Mifune. My name is Chihaya Mifune. It's
What do you
nice
say?
to meet
I
you.
have to talk to you.
Today is June
Yay!
27th,
Let's go.
2026. So, how does this voice sound?
It's close, I feel like.
My name is Chihaya Mifune. My name is Chihaya Mifune. It's nice to meet you. Today is June 27th, 2020. My name is Chihaya. My name is Chihaya Mi. My name is Chihaya Mifune.
Chat, I'm pretty sure this is Chihaya's voice. I mean, listen, give it a listen here, chat.
Thank you. I see. That's too bad. I'll ask you again some other time. Sorry to be so forward. What shall we do? Here.
Pretty sure this is what you wanted, right, Zach? It's like Chihaya from like an analog horror.
It's nice to meet you. My name is Chihaya Mi. My name is Chihaya. My name is Chihaya Mifune. It's nice. My name is Chihaya Mifune. My name is Chihaya. My name is Chihaya Mifune. It's nice to meet you.
I feel like this is like the closest we're getting, though. I would say that she's... I'd say that she's pretty polite. Slower in her movement. Flat energy. Very serious in her thinking. And incredibly quirky. No, we need to make her, like, more quirky, chat. Yeah, that feels like the closest we're getting to her. I'll make her incredibly quirky, chat. Reserved. Thoughtful and introspective. Great at thinking things through and analyzing issues from every angle. I mean, that sounds like a fortune teller type beat to me. Chihaya Mifune's house will be stationed right... I mean, she lives in the city, right? So I feel like it's very base that everyone on this island is pan. Listen, if we're treating this like a dating show, then everyone needs to be able to marry everybody. You know? Otherwise, what's the point? I feel like her living in the city is probably the closest that we'll get to, you know, her, to you know, a lore-accurate Chihaya. So she'll be nestled back here. Hello, Chihaya.
Nice to meet you. I'm Chihaya Mifune. I'm a reserved thinker.
Hi.
I'm curious and caring, but I can be a bit too shy to show it sometimes.
Biblically accurate Chihaya. Be afraid.
I'm looking forward to living here.
She'll forget to turn your cards over. It will be death for all of them.
I'm a simple person, and I like simple clothes.
I saw your dress. It is literally like a... It's like pink with like a black over... You know, a black overcoat with little clocks
Now that the island
over
is
it.
home to 10 residents, we've received a report of the Island 5. This represents the overall state of the island.
We are going to beat you to death. I mean, listen, dude, I would be afraid of this right here.
Thanks for watching. I'm Chuck Taylor, and you're up to date.
Congratulations on reaching the 10 residents on your island. Right now, the place is giving off chill island vibes. Of course, that's based on the Miis who live here now, so the island vibe could change as you add new residents. What an insane lineup so far. Dude, can someone please go back to that and, like, take a screenshot? Actually, no, hold on. I can fucking go back there myself. That's not all you can find under island info, though. You can also see the island lingo you share with your residents, or look up how many ponderings you've resolved. There's so much stuff about Clubber there. It's definitely worth a look sometime. The new Fast and Furious reboot is taking creative liberties. Is this the Fast and Furious reboot?
This is me news.
Fucking Chuck Taylor's back in the booth, brother.
We've just received. Now that the island is home to 10 residents, we've received a report of the Island 5.
This is a crazy lineup here, dude.
Clubber's 5 has been established as Chill Island. Thanks for watching.
This is a mentally insane lineup here.
And that was me news.
What? On's in the chair now? I'll lock that one just for posterity's sake. And chat, it's gonna get even crazier because if you can believe it, we're not even done. We have more of these to make. Next up is Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. First, let's see what On wants.
Good evening.
This will probably be the last one we make tonight, but I've had a lot of fun making these. I want to wear something cuter than what I have right now. Okay. And this is Carl's Stone Cold Lock of the Century. He finally got fed up of his freaking car and pool getting destroyed every other day. Oh, well, it's too bad for him. Because, well, now you have to deal with, like, Chuck Taylor and Nyla Rose living next to you, dude. So, you know, that's a little bit too bad for you. Because it's not going to get much better for you. Where's my freaking car? I mean, this one here should be pretty simple, right? Carl Aquatine Hunger Force. I know this man has a full name, and we're gonna try to type all of it in when we're done here. I can't stand Chuck Taylor. Fuck you, Chuck Taylor. I'm trying to find, like, a good, like, version of him here. Fuck it. This right here is what we're using. Alright, Alright, here we are. This makes... Dude, really? This shit makes no sense now. I'm coming out of the picture of Carl, chat. Hold on. Tonight! We are making this thing here. We need the appropriate Carl head, I feel like. Maybe something like this. I think it's something like that, dude. Alright, now we need, like, a balding hairstyle. Oh my god, it's perfect. Already, his hairpiece would be easy, lol. It is, dude. It's gotta be, like, a really crappy brown, you know? I can give him, like, salmon-colored hair here. That looks pretty good to me, I feel like. Now he has, like, these kinds of eyebrows, I feel like. Actually, no, hold on. I mean, the eyes here should also be pretty easy because they're just like dots, you know? We did it. Do we know Carl's birthday? Look it up. Look it up. Give it to me, brother. I need to make it bigger for a second. I need to see his... Not his toes. I need to see his friggin', nose. Something like that right there. Alright, now where's his facial hair? Oh my god. February 19th, 1961. That means he's like 65 years old at this point, dude. He's of retirement age. I think we're getting it. We need to add like some wrinkles on him too, right? And ears. Dude, the ears are just lost in his face fat. What I do in Miitopia is none of your freaking business. Dude. Dude, what I do on Clover Island, that's none of your freaking business, Fry, man. Honestly, I think we got him looking pretty good here. Can I add any more wrinkles on him? Like, does he have any forehead wrinkles? He's gotta have some, right? Kinda. Easy custom. Okay, I need to move him. I need to move him again. I sent you a picture of why we know it's his birthday. Okay, why do we know that this is his birthday? Oh my god, it's dude, this fucking okay, hold on. This is honestly probably a better like source here than what I was using before. The fucking driver's license from the freaking episode and where they were like trying to cash a space check not knowing it was a bill. Okay, well he needs a alright, well he needs like a more chudly head, I feel like. Sun like this. My god, he's almost perfect. Rare front view Carl. We didn't see front view Carl really at all that much past the first season. So to have it right here is incredible. But like, dude, Shake in the background is killing me. LOL. Dude, he's like, dude, in this scene, they like remove Carl's hair and like mustache. And they put it on Meatwad to like try and get him to cash the check in a convenience store that doesn't cash checks. So like when the cashier puts the license down, all you see is Meatwad with like Carl's hair and mustache haphazardly like applied to him with like scotch tape. It's so funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, I feel like he needs like bigger ears. Jadazo! With the long boys, girls, NBs, and AGs. Happy Pride Raid! Hello, Jada! Welcome on into tonight's Long Boy Club Mean. Thank you for bringing your lovely community on over here. For those of you who are unaware, my name is GirafaStev. I am the president of the Long Boy Club, the very long and large enjoyer of games, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cats. Tonight we are making donor-requested Miis in Tomodachi Life. We are right now on Carl Bertano-Laluski from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And he is by far one of the easiest ones that we've made tonight. For anyone that is unaware of me, I do mostly wrestling game stuff. This is obviously not wrestling, but we have like wrestlers on this island, right? We do have wrestlers on this island, and well, Carl is not one of them, but we do have, you know, the Fiend, which is, you know, Bray Wyatt's character, Doink the Clown, so on and so forth. If you enjoy wrestling, sports games, RPGs, custom world building, I would really appreciate a follow on this channel. Today, we are fundraising for Gamers Outreach right here. We have raised over $325 at this point. If we get to 400, I will unlock a special 5th costume for our TTS guy over here, the Giraffe Homunculus. Thanks to everyone's generous contributions, he will be getting 4 new costumes based on famous wrestlers, including Stone Cold Steve Austin, Macho Man Randy Savage, Joe Hendry, and Sting. All 4 of those have been unlocked, and they will be released over the next while. So yeah, Jada, if you got a raid and run, that's absolutely fine. But thank you very much for the raid, brother. I appreciate it. Everyone go follow Jada. He is an incredible video editor. Most of the really good shorts that you see, they're either done by CJ or they're done by him. So yeah, like, I would really appreciate it if you guys went and gave him a follow. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is about as good as it gets here for him. Yes, we do love CJ. Oh shoot, I remember donating, so does that mean, well, did you donate $15 or more? Because if you did donate, that means that you get your name on a wrestling sign. It doesn't matter what dollar amount it is, but you will get your name on it. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is about as good as we can get for Carl. So maybe the wrinkles are a little bit overkill. There we go. It was $10, yes. That means that you will get on the sign. Dude, everyone here is either really skinny or really fat. There's no in between. So we're not gonna fit this entire last name in here, but we're gonna try our best to. It's Carl Brutana Nadaluski. It doesn't. It doesn't fit. I'll just call him Carl. Honestly, I think we did a really good Carl here. So here, I'll put him in his mid-50s here. Or make him like 50 years old. He was born on February 19th. Okay.
My name is Carl. It's nice to meet you.
My name is Carl.
My name is Carl. My name is Carl. It's not. My name is Carl. My name is Carl. My name is Carl. My name is Carl.
My name is Carl. My name is Carl. It's not. My name is Carl. My name is Carl. My name is Carl. My name is Carl.
He has such like a he has such like a New Yorker, New Jersey accent that getting something that sounds like him is gonna be pretty difficult, I feel like. Getting something that sounds exactly like friggin'
Today is June 27th, 2026.
Like friggin' Carl is going to be crazy.
Voice sound. My name is Carl. 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 It's nice to meet you.
Today I learned Aqua Teen has a canonically trans character.
So, how does this voice sound?
That's goddamn Romulux right there.
My name is Carl.
Romulux!
My name is Carl. It's nice to meet you. My name is Carl.
My name is Carl. It's nice. My name is Carl. It's nice to meet you. My name is Carl. My name is Carl. It's nice. My name is Carl. My name is Carl. It's my name is Carl. My name is Carl. It's nice to meet. My name is Carl. My name is Carl.
Like it sounds way too deep.
My name is Carl. 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 It's nice to meet you. Today is June. My name is Carl.
Okay, fine, we'll go with that. Very slow. Very honest. I would say that his energy is pretty flat. Serious. Normal. Rogue, intelligent, not afraid to show it, knowledgeable in a wide range of subjects, answers with confidence. Answering with confidence is definitely one way to say it, I'll say. So we can all agree that Carl is going next to Chuck Taylor, right? That's not, I mean, that makes sense to me.
Hey, you must be Booker Man.
That I am.
It's nice to meet you. My name is Carl. I'm an ambitious rogue. My friends mean the world to me, but I also like to do things on my own sometimes.
Well,
thanks in advance for looking after me here.
I mean, like, I wouldn't say that's accurate. I would say that's accurate to Carl. He fucking hates the Aqua Teens. But, you know, it's a fun thing where, like, the moment that they're gone, he then like begins to miss him. Right, he then like begins to miss them, just like, you know, constantly, you know, like uprooting his life. All right, we need to like give him like a really. He has friends, apparently. I've never seen these friends, but I bet they're out there, brother. Oh my god. Gym attire? Bear backpack. Alright, well, I feel like this is probably the best that we could get for him for now, but he's aware how dull his life is without them, yeah? Yes, absolutely. That's literally the whole crux of it. So... And he has, like, sweatpants and flip-flops. Flip-flops, flip-flops. With shower sandals. There's only one color of these shoes, chat. Pixel sunglasses. A bunny tail. Let's go ahead and give him the shower sandals, chat. Either that or just give him, like, these guys. Actually, yeah, these right here are a little bit more his speed. Alright, dude. Alright, Carl, what do you want?
Wanna play red light, green light?
Sure, why not? Touch the Mii within 30 seconds without being spotted in order to win.
Here we go. Green light. Red light. Green light. Red light.
Ah!
You lose, Booker Man.
Ah, that's a classic. That is a classic Carl move, brother. Fuck.
Hey, you can't win them all. But you can get this as a consolation prize.
I remember when Carl caught shaken red light, green light, and then a troll proceeded to get stuck up Carl's friggin' head.
Something on your mind?
Alright, yes. In fact, you look way too proper. You need to, like, white trash it up, brother. Here. My god. It's perfect. Alright, hold on. Wide-legged pants. Ah, dude. I cannot change the color for these sandals specifically. But if we get, like, other ones in the shop, then maybe I might be able to change them. Because if I could, I would just make them green. Oh, yeah, he loves them. Great. And what does Carl like to eat, chat? Hold on. Oh, God. No way. No way! I could get him the chain, too? Oh, God! Yes! You know what? You know what? For something that we just cobbled together, it looks really good. The only thing I would take off is the hat. We need to get rid of this hat here.
Do you need me?
I need you to get rid of this hat, brother. Like, hold on, can I, like, take the clothes off of him? Can I, like, take his hat off? Oh, whatever. That's fine. It's fine for now. He'll just... he'll just, like, look like a front man for a friggin' new metal band for now. Yeah, this is really coming together, chat. I feel like this is really coming together. I have to help him.
That's the wrong spot.
A quick little fingering.
That's the spot. That's great. Right there. A little more. You got it.
There you go. I am flabbergasted by the Fiend and just everything that he's about here. Who do we want him to be friends with, chat? I feel like he would be good friends with Carl. You know? Dude, the Fiend looks like something that Carl would, like, interact with first. And then... and then the Aqua Teens would, like, show up, and, like, Frylock would know absolutely what he is. Can you get this frickin' Jason man off of my car? Oh my god. What the fuck? Wait. Can you get this man and his Laffy Taffy ass off my car? Off my freaking car. The Fiend would be in an episode. Exactly. Like the Fiend would be a one-off villain in an episode. But like it would be kind of like, you know, the same thing as Willie Nelson, right? And where like he tries to be scary, but like when he tries to project something, like he can't friggin' do it. But the moment that they go into the attic, they find that he has like all the bodies. You know? They'll find that he has all the bodies in there. Meatwad would want to play patty cake with the Fiend. No. The Fiend, listen, the concept of it would be that, like, Meatwad watches Bray Wyatt's show and and he really loves the Fiend, you know? And then it turns out the Fiend is real. And he just fucking loves smashing up, like, Carl's car.
Aw.
Oh, we got a spinning top?
Guess it was just a dream.
The dream manifests a treasure. You got a spinning top.
Oh.
What the? Oh, all right. I need to get you some food. Lore accurate, Carl. All right. What's up, Chucky?
I always have a blast when I'm hanging with you. Doink the clown.
Oh boy.
I have no idea you felt that.
Oh, I sure do. So, how about we start going on dates with each other?
Yeah, we might be good together. Let's do it.
Dude, you're ready to risk it all. Just go for it.
All right.
Dude, you gotta just go for it, man. It says you're ready to risk it all. You have to freaking go for it, man.
Yes.
Like, it's just, like, it's not, like, the light's not gonna get any greener, dude. You gotta go for it. Here. Oh, no, no, I can't do it, man. I can't do it with them. I can't have Willow be the third wheel. Chuck Taylor is offering an open invitation saying, I'm wide open. Let's actually get together soon. Oh boy. Oh no. Dude, that was an awful dance there. That led to less friendship there. Oh!
You're so funny.
Dude, are they best friends now?
Accepted my invitation.
Okay.
Get it kept rolling.
Alright, Nyla's a little bit upset. Let's check in on her.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'd like some dinner.
Sure thing. I have a whole ass roast chicken here.
Yum.
That's been sitting in here for like 6 days, at least. She likes it. Alright, we gotta find like something like heavy for friggin' Carl to eat, I feel like.
Welcome.
A jumbo serving with a jumbo amount of broth. Best to enjoy while piping hot. Bubble tea. Beef jerky. Oh boy. Yeah, he would put away some nachos. What about the Cheetos cheesecake blue style?
Thank you very much.
The Cheetos cheesecake would also be an episode, I feel like.
Wah.
Hey!
Oh. What's up?
What's up? It's nachos, brother. Take them.
Yum.
He liked it. Alright, cool. One more thing, and then we'll close up shop for tonight.
Good evening.
Hi.
My look is lacking a certain something. Can you get me some headwear that matches my current outfit?
Sure. I mean, like, listen. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find you a headband anytime soon, but I could definitely try. Well, none of this is headbands. Yeah, like, none of these are headbands here. Would be nice if we had a headband. Maybe we could make one. Maybe we could make one. Either that, or we can, like, just give her something really weird like these things. I think she would like these. Hold on. Here, take these. Do you really need to do that in order to put these on? Oh, yeah! Hell yeah, she liked it. Well, there you go, Zach. I gave her something that she enjoyed. I hope that suffices for you. Orange. What? Why? I didn't even know these had switches, dude. You can do that? What's up, bud?
Good to see you. It's been a while.
Let's see what kind of food you like, dude. You love you like the Cheetos cheesecake, but do you like mashed taters? Ah!
It's almost time for a 3-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Alright, well, I want to try and get...
It's break time. Where are the Cheetos,
and
my
Doink
dudes?
together before the night's over.
Timmy, I'm from the Dream Come True Fantasy Foundation. You ready to wrestle?
You bet! Mom! Dad, it's really him! Hold on! Now I'm ready.
It looks so real.
Why is he so violent?
To do anything but quench your thirst.
Are you tired of cute TV? Well, grab a ringside seat and watch the celebrity matches you've grown to love. Now you can take home your favorite big-name brawls with Celebrity Deathmatch Rounds 1 and 2. Now available on home video. In Round 1, you'll get bonus behind-the-scenes footage. And Round 2 features the WWF's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Hey! And don't forget everyone's favorite, Mills Lane.
Let's get it on! Pick up Celebrity Deathmatch Rounds 1 and 2. Now available on home video.
You said a mouthful there, Johnny.
Betty, do you have a date? Would you like to go to the dance? Many arrangements for the prom? Such a dork.
Isn't that a cute dress, Betty? Yeah. Last season.
Hi, Betty.
WCW Mayhem. It starts in the ring. It just doesn't have to end there.
Oh my goodness. That was so rude.
Rude.
On
On the plains of Africa, one would find the following: the herbivore, or plant-eater, the carnivore, or meat-eater, and the boyardivore, known as mankind.
Have a nice day.
He's never without his overstuffed beef ravioli and his call.
Beefy!
Unmistakable. Chef Boyardee overstuffed beef ravioli definitely feeds the need.
It's the perfect ravioli for all mankind.
Well, if you hate all of mankind, then yes. But if you have any respect for your fellow man, then no. I added something to the island chat.
Nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
I'm gonna go and show the Fiend a vending machine. Welcome back. I'm showing the Fiend a vending machine, chat. Check this out. What's up with the Fiend? And oh boy, it's the bone cracker, chat. What all does the Fiend like? Does he like an egg? Or does he like eating corn the long way?
Yum.
There you go. What isn't up with the Fiend? Exactly. That's a better question. So is this what we mean when we call him the Eater of Worlds? So he likes corn on the cob, mashed potatoes.
Hypothetically, if the world were to end tomorrow, what would you spend today doing?
I would spend today... Wait, add text.
I get it.
Ah, no! I missed it, dude. I want to type in making kids cry, brah. But I was too late. Chad, would you give the Fiend head pats? Because while some of you are... Because while some people are scared to do it, I'm not. Hit that shit, Chucky.
Huh. Good seeing you.
Can you, like, just pull the trigger on this already? I'm trying my best to, like, push it forward, but there's only so much I can do, man. Wait, are you about to... Dude. I mean, listen, man. That's one way to get his attention, I guess. This is what we call his mating dance. Oh, man! Dude, really? Maybe he'll come back if you keep dancing, dude. Man. Dude, I don't think... I mean, that didn't work, unfortunately. That didn't really work out for old Chucky. But hey, nothing's gonna stop his groove here. None's gonna stop that beat. But I think that is about where we'll stop the stream, chat. This was very fun. This was an incredible marathon. Thank you all very much for your donations to Gamers Outreach this year. We will continue making your requested Miis next time. I'm watching, brother. Oh, hey, it's the same thing that you've done like 3 times at this point. We have like at least 2 more left. I think we have like 3 more left, but we'll do those the next time that we play this game, which will hopefully be next week, before I go to the G1 Climax in Chicago with my good friends Colton and Sarah Skylark. Thank you all very much for making this a legendary friggin' donathon. We're gonna go ahead and raid out to somebody here. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna try one more time here before we head out here. Yo! Please, do something. Ah, man.
Huh?
Oh, Chuck.
Hey, what do you need?
Dude, that's so deflating, honestly. That's a very deflating way to end, but we're gonna friggin' end on it. We'll catch up with our good friends here in Doink the Clown and goddamn Chuck Taylor next time. For now, let's go ahead and let's raid into old, I'm trying to think of who to raid into here. We'll do Tracy. Tracy is currently playing Mario Sunshine as part of... Wait. Is that Mario Sunshine or is it like modded Mario Sunshine? No. Just kind of looks like Mario Sunshine. Probably like modded in some form or fashion, but I can't really tell. Damn, got swerved. I know! That was shit. Old Chuck Taylor. You'll get him next time, dude. But for now, raid message. And I will see you guys next time. Let's go ahead and let's raid into Tracy. Keep the good times rolling with old VTuber SummerSlam. Thank you very much for making this incredibly memorable. Thank you very much for hitting our goal of $300+. I am very grateful. I know that Gamers Outreach is grateful, and so are the kids that they help. I will see you guys next time for our regularly scheduled stuff. Bye. Where's the